outlining some priorities such as debt reduction, social spending, and economic growth. Some of the analysts have described this budget as expansionary. I would want to hear from you. What are your key takeaways from this budget, and how would you describe it, especially that it is a budget that is coming in an election year?
It is an election budget. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's an election budget.
How do you qualify that?
If you look at the kind of spending that is being proposed, it's all towards trying to please the voters. It is nothing to do with investment. It's all to do with expansion, and that's why people have called it an expansionary budget, because it's all aimed at pleasing the voter in view of the 2026 elections. You will see very soon that they will start saying they are reducing the cost of fuel. Why? Why haven't they been reducing all the time? It is because now it's election time. They also informed you about electricity. What did they say? They said they're going to start importing electricity. Why are they importing electricity now, which they were not importing since 2021? Why only in 2026? They have also told you that they're going to reduce the export of electricity by more than 40%. Why are they doing it now? Why didn't they do it in 2021? They allowed the collapse of many small enterprises in Zambia from 2021 to 2025. And now they are saying we're going to provide you the power that is required for you to revive your businesses. Those businesses are long closed, and the people have since spent the capital that they were using to run their businesses. So you can see that this is an election-motivated budget. We have always been saying this idea of bragging that you're increasing investment in the mines, you're increasing investments in the extraction of our minerals without demonstrating that there's also an exponential increase in the revenues that are being generated from mining is all a product of myopia. It's myopic to do that. We must ensure that when we say we're investing in mineral resources, we also increase in manufacturing to make sure that the mineral resources that we're mining have value addition in Zambia, and that the taxes that are being generated from the minerals add to the revenue of the country. You cannot talk about debt restructuring when you're not ensuring that you're attracting sufficient taxes from the greatest resource that you have. Look at the investment in agriculture. How much investment is going into agriculture? Because if this wasn't to be an expansionary budget, you should have seen that the investment would have been going in productive sectors. But it is a budget that is only meant to hoodwink the Zambian people.
But Honorable Lubinda, there's a rhetorical question that I get to hear both outside Parliament and in the House. Rhetorical, but perhaps may also be critical. All these issues that you have outlined, the question is, why were they not done when the Patriotic Front was in power?
What was it that wasn't done? The Patriotic Front left mineral royalty tax. It was paid. Mineral royalty tax was being paid on the value of the minerals that were being mined. And this government came in and abolished mineral royalty tax. They abolished it literally by making it tax deductible, which means that ultimately there is no mineral royalty tax. So don't ask me about things that we did and say we didn't do them, because we did. We also said to the Zambian people that these miners who are not willing to pay tax because of all the measures they take in forward accounting and so on and so forth, if they're not going to be willing to pay us the necessary tax, they are better off closing shop. Okay, we're better off closing shop, ensuring that the minerals are left underground until such a time that more reasonable Zambians are born to come and exploit those minerals for the benefit of Zambians. Because now we're exploiting those minerals without any direct benefit to Zambia. All right, that endowment was an endowment from God to Zambians, first of all. And the Zambians must be the first ones to benefit from those mineral resources. We mustn't allow others to come and exploit our mineral resources to enrich their countries, to develop their countries at the expense of developing our own. You asked me, why didn't we do what we're talking about? You remember that we established Zamgold, and we declared gold a strategic reserve, a strategic mineral. Why we did that was because we knew that gold is very easy to deal with. And if we're not careful, we will not even see any benefit, not even to the small-scale miners who are mining it. Because if you allow the open market to just buy gold, the ones who benefit are the ones who are going to export it. The ones who are going to mine it will be shortchanged by the middlemen. We decided to establish the Zamgold Company. And we passed a law that no one in Zambia will be allowed to trade in gold. All gold will be traded only through Zamgold Company. And Zamgold Company would keep that gold in Bank of Zambia, to build bullions in Bank of Zambia, to strengthen the value of your kwacha. Today you have currencies in the world whose strength is dependent on gold. And yet those countries have never mined gold. All they did was to exploit gold from countries in Africa and keep the bullions in their banks and to stabilize their currency. And yet for us, we decided that now every Jim and Jack can just go and buy gold and export it without any value addition to the gold in Zambia, without any revenue accruing to Zambia. And even the small-scale miners themselves, if you go now to Petauke, if you go to Mpika, if you go to Kalumbila, you will see the number of youths who are struggling to raise a living from gold. And yet the ones who are really benefiting are the ones who are exporting. So we tried to do all these things. You remember that one of the first things we did with regard to precious metals was to say we are no longer going to auction our emeralds in India. President Michael Sata banned the export of emeralds to go and be auctioned in India. The auctioning was being done here in Zambia. Why were we doing that? Because we knew that if we allow the export of our resources, we will not benefit. Once the emerald started being auctioned here, the buyers were coming into Zambia. They were spending time in your hotels. And you could see what they were paying for your emeralds. You could tax them properly. But all that is a thing of the past. So, Mr. Jilala, the PF government was focused and the PF government wanted to do things right.
All right. Let us also discuss another important issue. And to just look at it, let us start with an interesting context, because in 2020, I think must have been October, Honorable Lubinda, you stood on the floor of the House and according to me, in what turned out to be one of the most interesting debates in Parliament, and according to one of your words, you spoke about posterity judging the members of Parliament that sat on the right rightly and harshly on those that were absent at that time on the left. Fast forward, there is talk of Bill 10, rather Bill 7, and at that time there was talk of Bill 10, which failed in the House and culminated into that debate that I'm giving reference to. But fast forward, Honorable Lubinda, there is now talk of Bill 7 was deferred for more consultation, but on the other hand, there is a court ruling in the Munia Zulu and Celeste Mukandela case in the Constitutional Court. But President Hakainde Hichilema has appointed a technical committee on the constitutional making process. Having served as a Justice Minister, I want to hear your views on the current state of the constitutional making process. Firstly, the bill is deferred. There is a court ruling. Then just now, there is renewed debate with the coming in of the technical committee. Well, what is your take?
I'm glad you're reminding the listeners of what I said in 2020. And I also said Bill 10 has been killed, but the ghost of Bill 10 will come to haunt you. True to my words, the ghost of Bill 10, which is now Bill 7, is haunting them. It's haunting those who killed Bill 10. The ghost of Bill 10, in the name of Bill 7, has dragged this government in the mud. How? It has shown that these people are not people who can be trusted with following just basic laws. Basic laws. They can't even follow basic procedures. It is an indictment on this government that the Constitutional Court even declared that the process they used to arrive at the ghost of Bill 10 in the name of Bill 7 was unconstitutional. In many countries, just that pronouncement by the Constitutional Court would have caused for an impeachment of the person who was behind coming up with an unconstitutional process of amending the Republican Constitution. As we speak now, anyone who makes any attempt at reviving debate on Bill 7 commits an offense and must not be allowed. While they have appointed this technical committee, the bill itself is already in Parliament, and parliamentarians are supposed to have a committee to start interrogating Bill 7. What is that technical committee all about? Who are they going to consult? And on what are they going to consult? What you must bear in mind, Mr. Jirala, and what I'd like listeners to bear in mind, is that when you set up a technical committee for the review of a constitution, you don't give them the bill. They are the ones who should generate the bill. And they will generate the bill based on the submissions that they will receive from the country, from the people, from various stakeholders. You don't go to a technical committee and say, here is what we want you to go and consult the people on. We already have the template. Now go and consult the people. No. That is doing things in a haphazard manner. It is doing things in a lopsided manner. Compare that to all the previous constitutional review processes and the most recent one, the Bill 10 process. The Bill 10 process started in Parliament, not outside Parliament. It started in Parliament because members of Parliament said our current constitution requires review. And then Ministry of Justice set up a committee to go and receive submissions countrywide. They traversed the country. They received submissions, which submissions were put together, and all the people who made submissions were brought to Mulungushi to come and validate those submissions, to come and say, yes, you captured them in the manner in which we had presented them to you. We further engaged the public on those submissions. You know about the famous Siavonga meeting where all political parties went and gathered to look at those submissions. And they added to those submissions. And it culminated in an act of parliament, the NDF Act. The PF government did not just choose people alone under a tree, you start choosing people. No. It was Parliament that enacted the NDF Act, which provided the people to participate in reviewing the Constitution based on the submissions that were earlier collected. And it was that NDF, the National Dialogue Forum, which ended up with the bill I hope you're following. And that bill was then published for 30 days in the government gazette and in newspapers. We gave citizens 30 days to interrogate the bill, which came from a popular meeting. There were more than 450 participants. It was chaired by an independent professor, Professor Munalula. And Professor Munalula was not picked by government. Professor Munalula was elected by the people who sat at that NDF. You can see how open, how transparent the process should be. You don't amend the Constitution as though you are amending your menu in your own house. No. You have to engage people.
So in this case, what would you propose should happen? Because it appears the executive, government and a few stakeholders are determined to see the amendment of the Constitution before the 2026 general election. And how possible is it from your end?
Why the hurry? Why the hurry? I told you for the NDF, for the Bill 10, we started soon after elections. The elections were held in 2016, August, and 2016 itself, December. We already started the process. We were not in a hurry. We wanted to give Zambians time. For the UPND Bill 7, a few months before Parliament is dissolved, you want to go and amend the Constitution. Why? What is it that is in the current Constitution which will stop us from holding elections in 2026? Nothing. So if this is a genuine process, let it be rested now and only be restarted after elections of 2026. Not before. There is no time. Look, it took the NDF Bill 10 3 years to come up with a bill which was presented to Parliament in 2019. It took 3 years. How would you expect Bill 7 to be presented only over a few weeks and expect that that will be capturing the aspirations of the Zambians? It won't. Even that committee that they have set up, how much time does it have to go and consult? They don't even have the time to consult. So this is all smoke screening and window dressing. The UPND are intending to amend the Constitution on their own without sufficient consultations with the people. This is the reason why they were in such a hurry with their Bill 7 that it had to take the Constitutional Court to say, hey, wait a minute, what you're doing is wrong. What you're doing is unconstitutional. And anything that is done in an unconstitutional manner qualifies to be called a criminal act. That is a criminal act to go against the provisions of the Constitution, especially insofar as amending the supreme law of the land is concerned.
All right, let us engage with the people, Honorable Lubinda. This is our Thursday edition of the interview on Millennium Radio. Our guest is the Patriotic Front Acting President, Honorable Lubinda. You can interact with us. We're live on our Facebook page. It's Millennium Radio 90.5 FM. You can alternatively also give us a call if you have questions, contributions, and queries. The numbers that you are calling us on are 0962870921 is the number. And please let us be brief and straight to the point so that we can give as many chances as possible to many people that are listening to us and want to contribute. You're through to the interview. Good morning. Endita Evatishan Mukoi.
Buino Mukoi, Mulishan.
Tuneranda na wanan wale tumina Krista. At wanan nishina? Twewe nishina lienu. Oh, okay, brand kumponga. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Brian. Thank you very much, Mr. Brian. 0962870921 is the number that you are calling us on. This is the interview on Millennium Radio. Good morning. Good morning to you too. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Please be brief and straight to the point, General Chongo.
Ngashibukeni bachongo.
Kindly wind up, sir. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. 0962870921 is the number that you are calling us on. You are through to the interview. Good morning. And did I
Kuino mama mwabuka shani na imwe.
Mkwai. Thank you very much. Let us begin two more calls. 0962870921 is the number that you are calling us on. Yeah, through to the program. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good. Okay, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling us from? I am Kwai Mwabombe.
Kuino mama mwabuka shani na imwe.
Please go on with your contribution. All right, thank you very much for that contribution. 0962870921 is the number. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. I am Kwaima Shuken.
Kina yo shango muchwa nimina.
All right. So, Mr. Lubinda, you can respond to these calls and contributions that we have received, starting with Mr. Brian in Mpongwe.
Mr. Brian
says you were getting a dose of your own medicine as a party by being denied access by the police because, according to him, they were also being beaten by PF cadres while they were in opposition.
Thank you. Brian nga mukirimule kutika ndefu okumyeba okutira ikirubo ikyakale takifuire mwakibonfye okutira tikirete nekirubo ikyaleero iyo ikyali ikirubo akale kifue kyaba nekirubo leero. The fact that I personally was attacked by cadres does not justify that another person must be attacked by cadres. The fact that our cadres in the PF, and actually to say that they were PF cadres might not even be correct. But you see, these cadres are not just the uniform, the cadres are the individuals. And they just change uniform. Today they are in this uniform, the next day they are in another uniform. So to say I'm a cadre, it is not correct. This is as though to say, Brian, that because inebali ba cadre, so it is all right to chat na black apple na yena ba mume. It is all right that na JJ banda ba mume. It is all right that aba ichibale ipaya muma polling stations. No, Brian. Tufue tule sambira ifyakale tuamuna kutati ichichali chirubo and let us move from it to become a better society. What we want is to develop, and development is progressive. You cannot continue to say ifyakale and you keep referring to them to justify wrong things that you're doing today. That is not how to develop a country at all. But Brian, and Nde Milomba, please stop using that. Imweba Brian, what you must be saying is that we share into Fideva we know. The fact that today people are being stopped to have rallies does not mean that when we form government we should also continue to stop others from having rallies and we say Pantubale to Kanya. We should not say that because today people are being arrested for hate speech, that all former government officials are being arrested, then the next government must also arrest all the current government officials. That is not how to develop a country, but Brian. We have to develop, we have to grow, and we must depart from the past, the bad past, and build a better future. That's what development is all about. Now, Vachongo, Banakaonga, Grace, Woma Angela, I hope that my colleagues, leaders of opposition political parties, and generally members of opposition political parties, have listened to the cries of these people. Each one of them, Bachongo Kukabwe said, if we're per ground, we are united, not we katana per ground. Tulelo lele mkunta nshuko, ikatana ni kunta nshuko. Tatulefaya government yabufi ikapitishe mu 2026. That is true, Bachongo Kukabwe, and I hope that my colleagues are listening to this. These people, Bachirala, are all crying. They have put their hope, they have put their faith in us in the opposition. Each one of them has said words like, tule chula, twachula, amalaiti tatukwete, ubunga ubwa 50 kwacha tapali tuleli echimbala, twafuwa mumala kukulalia soya every day. We don't want this government here kupitisha mu 2026. We don't want the government to go beyond 2026. PF was a better government. I hope that we, in the leadership of opposition political parties, can take heed. This is a cry of the people. These four who spoke, are only a representative of the mass majority of the Zambians who are suffering. The Zambians who can't wait for 2026 elections. The people who can't wait to see that we remove this government and replace it with a more progressive, a more tolerant, and a more constitution-respecting government. That's what the Zambian people are saying, and I want to thank them very much. I'm going to take these messages to my colleagues. I'll give the messages to them that abantu punch nabe katana, but ground baswalani, luna, baba insfahali muluka kuswalana ni luna, bantu ansi, bajatana, banda utitulete luga mantano, banda utulete lusumpugo mujisi, ino babona utisuwatala, disontura manyongwe. Please, no benzuma, manyongwe go to jisa, bantu, abajisa. Hatuleke kunyongana. Let's unite quickly so that we give hope and we show the Zambian people that come 2026, they can look back and say, what a wasted 5 years under the UPND government. That's what the people want.
Let us speak in some more calls. The numbers that you are calling us on are 0962-870921. Hello, good morning. Tunaenda na wanani mkwai? Mkwai mwa shukeni.
Bachisha. Chileshe, sorry.
Thank you very much for that contribution. 0962-870921 is the number that you are calling us on. You're through to the interview. Good morning. Morning to you too. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Wino, mulishani kukabwe.
All right, thank you very much for that contribution. 0962-870921 is the number that you are calling us on. Hello, good morning. Yeah, I'm quite more bombing. At Vanani Shina? Okay, please go on, Mr. Robert Linda. Thank you very much for that contribution. 0962-870921 is the number that you are calling us on. You are through to the interview. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Good morning, Mr. Kilala.
Okay, thank you. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
This is the Honorable Secretary from Millennium.
Please go on with your contribution.
Yes. My dear owner.
Good morning.
You know, you need to be reminded that this country is a country of people who think where people are intelligent. These people that you are hearing, crying that they want you back, they are your eight commanders. The people that were stealing from the bus drivers, the people that were stealing from the marketeers, who want to come back and continue. Any normal and well-meaning Zambia cannot want you to come back. Because there is no reason. You are not telling us how you are going to solve these problems that you are saying this government has solved. Now, what is the reason of the inquiry as opposed to what we look at? All what you do every day is to complain like an ordinary citizen. No, no jail now. That is what are you going to do? Those are issues that you need to be talking about.
All right.
Don't come on the radio to cry. Come on the radio to give the solution to how you are going to solve the problem.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much for that contribution. 0962870921 is the number that you are calling us on. Hello. Good morning. Good morning to you too. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Good morning, sir.
Please go on with your contribution.
The simple Zambia. What people are saying, apart from these few who are eating of this government, as I'm talking to you right now, from Gendere, this area, Gendere district, it floated, and Gendere Mania and so forth. We are suffering right now, as I'm talking to you, Gendere with the Marathi. But here, they are giving us less hours, 22 hours, 24 hours. So, we are going about 22 hours. It's in the same area. Right now, as I'm talking to you, 8 hours. Then I'm around the 21 hours. But I'm talking to you. We don't have water, and some of us, where we say, there are water containers. We have not even a single drop of water. Why? Because of the electricity. And some people are selling electricity to other countries. What kind of parents are they? And you, sir, and your team, what plans do you have for the state? Because when it was like, these people came to life with the Christian WhatsApp, Millennium, and the price will be at the rate that what people will see, and fuel will be cheaper.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we pick our last two calls, then we get to respond. 0962-870921 is the number. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you too. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Bueno, mkwai mwaboka sana.
All right, thank you very much. We pick the last call. 0962-870921 is the number that you are calling us on. You're through to the interview on Millennium Radio. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Mr. Derek in 15 miles, please go on with your contribution, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much for that contribution. What's your response to the calls and feedback we've gotten from our listeners?
Thank you. Again, I will try to follow them in the order in which they were coming. Bachireshe chachi nemukwai tatwako tena campaign pantu mwalishi binchitu Yesu. And ndeya mukubeba banakachinda that he must also come and appear on this radio program so that he can interact with the people and explain how, as Secretary General of PF and Secretary General of Tonse, he's managing both the PF and managing the Tonse Alliance. Chachi neba chileshe baletira ti PF yalifwa, and yet ichafu echo baikatira bayapera chabinga. That's why I said that by November, before the end of November, we'll have a convention. Whether the court give us back PF or not, we will have a convention. And I want to assure them that ingabaletira PF yalifwa. Just like they said about Bill-10 at Bill-10 chafwa, they went kunganda ya president wa bubalenwa wine, 4 cousins wine baleliana lion, hungry lion chicken baleshana no kushana bate mwati Bill-10 yafwa. I told them Michuacha Bill-10 will come and haunt you. Now I can also tell them that if they think that the PF is dead, very well, the ghost of the PF will haunt you in 2026, because the PF is coming up together with all its alliance partners to make sure that abantu baishi bokutira mu 2026 August by UPND kuyabebele. They have to pack their bags and go. Abantu bachula pafula. Can you imagine what if bachilanda nimani bachilanda bakabwepa ukutira grafe omusamba amba no kutina fechinchingwa. He's running away from a shadow, fearing the shadow. Somebody innocently posts and says that PF will now start demonstrations, and he issues a threat. I'm going to arrest you. You start threatening people just based on a small rumor written by somebody. Huh? That is to show that the governance of this country has gone to its lowest. This country has never been at this lowest level of protection or non-protection of people's rights. If you just, somebody writes and says, we are going to organize demonstrations, even before you organize, the whole entire Inspector General of Police takes time and wastes people's time on Facebook and radio and television to warn them. How can you have an Inspector General of Police who is so paranoid, who is so scared? If you had a security guard at your house who's as scared as Grafo Musamba, you'd fire him immediately. But unfortunately, you Zambians have no power to fire. The one who hires and fires Inspector General is the president. And I hope that the president realizes that he has a paranoid man as Inspector General of Police. But the truth of the matter is what Vakatanasho said. If when we built schools, in the 10 years that we're in government, Vakatanasho, we built schools, we built hospitals. They come and employ nurses and teachers to go and work in those hospitals and teach in those schools without even giving us credit or even recognizing the fact that we're the ones who built those schools and hospitals. And it is true. The only project we saw them commissioning are those pit latrines on the Copper Belt. Where else? What other project have they commissioned? All other projects they are commissioning are projects that were left over by the Patriotic Front. And Robert, thank you for your encouragement. Chachi nemukwaye na ifuna tuishibokutira nangu general conference tudela ndapo na tuishibokutira teba katusumini yo wakafu ya fiati fika pwe, but ichisuma chakutira we are resolved and we are going to do everything it takes ukutetuka kwa the general conference to elect our new leadership, to elect a president. And I want to appeal to my colleagues in the opposition that we must focus on strengthening our individual opposition political parties so that as we move together as an alliance, all of us are strong. Let's not depend only on one or two parties that are organizing and the rest think that we can just emerge and become an alliance government. No, every opposition political party, let us work hard. I've heard about one political party that has already had its conference. Well done. Let us, all political parties, go and have our conferences to strengthen our own governance systems and our governance structures before we talk about forging ahead and deciding on who is going to be our sole candidate as opposition. Now, Wamukosa, na kwata insoni sana for you, Wamukosa, ukwewa banenu kutila bena tabakwata mano. Ati abale chita support bonse, vantu abale liya mumabasi, abale chita shani. How can you talk about this other fellow citizens like that, Wamukosa? Mulefu na imu bamiebe okutila, imu echidele ngati mulela ndefyo pantu na muikuta. Efyo mulefu haya. Treat others with respect, Wamukosa. Politics is not about insulting one another. Aba nenu ingana bakwata ofu bale chita support. Bapeni nchitana bena, let them support without you insulting them. Nobody will insult you. We will not insult you. But please stop insulting us. Stop insulting Abanenu who have told you that they want to change your government. Stop insulting them. What I should be saying, what are we going to do? You are not the one who organized this program, Bamukosa. You should have told Bachilala that Ngaisa Lubinda, don't ask him questions about what is happening now. Ask him about what he will do. Inga mwachipewe bachira swati ama questions yabo. Inga yo bachira njipusha. Na asuka. You can't blame me for not talking about what I will do or what the PF government will do when that question hasn't been asked. Bachira didn't ask me that what is your solution to load shedding. So Bachira, please, I request you, invite me again very soon. So that we mukosa akomfwe if you amapange tukwete. Now, before we finish, before you take over from me again, Vapiri, yes, ise Vapiri mu 2011 tinapeza magesi ziko lonse kuyamba mu 1959 petinambo panga magesi 1959 magesi mu Zambia tinalupanga 1,600 megawatts. Mu 2011, that was the generation capacity, 1,600 megawatts. In 10 years, from 2011 to 2021, Apiri, we increased power generation capacity by 100%. We brought it to 3,400 megawatts. And my planet now, hadn't it been for this wasted 5 years, I can assure you that now we should have been talking about generating 4,800 megawatts of power. Now load shedding, it wouldn't have been there. You remember, Bachilala, that we also had problems with the drought. And when we had drought, we didn't have this extent of load shedding where people are seeing power only for 2 hours. And power comes, like my friend was saying, comes at 2 in the morning and at 4 it's gone. What are you going to use that power for at 2 when you are sleeping? Huh? For us, when we had that drought, what did we do? We imported power. We had the power ship, which docked in Mozambique. And we're bringing power into Zambia to make sure that we reduce the burden of our citizens.
All right. So quickly, Nanda, a minute before we go, obviously, many would want to know, including myself, at a personal level, do you have ambitions beyond your current role? Or simply put, do you also have ambitions of leading the Tonse as well as the PF?
I am currently leading both. I'm currently leading the PF and I'm currently leading the Tonse.
Do you have intentions of being on the ballot in 2026?
I think that is a subject of the Patriotic Front, not my subject. That's a subject of the Patriotic Front, and that is a discussion for another day.
Honorable Lubinda, many thanks that you could join us this morning on today's edition of the interview on Millennium Radio.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chilala, and I would like to thank all those callers, and also just to emphasize to Mr. Mukosa. Please, Mukosa, let us treat each other with respect. If you are kulabomfie chirimba umulabasa, to tell others yo abai shani is not fair. Let us treat each other with humility, so that together we can build one Zambia, one nation. And I'd like also to appeal to all the callers. Thank you very much. Continue to call and continue to engage with love for one another, with love for Mother Zambia, because that is what Zambia needs. We in Zambia are living at the moment now where love is not spread sufficiently, because everybody fears that whatever they say, people will be arrested. Let us build a unity, a country of unity and a country of love. I would like to appeal to all of us to love and to enjoy peace in the manner that Christ left peace to us. Thank you, Mr. Chilata.
All right, this is where today's edition of the interview comes to an